right. That's 2 weeks in a row now. We got the fade out going. Yo, Brian, the music stopped.
No! It's in my head, man. It's in my head.
I know. It's in my head. What's going on, folks? It's Friday night, 7:30. You know what that means. It is time for Panhandle Fishing Report. I'm your host, Mike Smith, Smitty Surf Fishing. With me always is my co-host.
What's going on, everybody? It is Demo from Finding Demo Surf Fishing Podcast. Welcome to the weekend. And, well, it ain't going to be great. I got some real crap news. So we're going to have some fun stuff to go over. We got plenty to talk about. We got plenty to discuss. Let me get some brain power here. There we go. Let there be light. Yeah. And nice. I hope y'all are ready. And it's good to see you guys. Man, look at all these happy people.
Look at everybody joining us here.
Jacob Williams. I haven't seen that name except today. He texted me. How you doing, buddy?
Haven't seen you on in a while.
Yeah, he's been working. Kind of overrated. Nope, can't do it. Nope. All right, Jason. Well, definitely hope. I want to hear how you're doing in the kayak. I heard you've been on. I don't see who the Facebook user is. I just see a Let's Go, so I kind of feel bad there.
I'm betting that's Jack Moran. That's usually his catchphrase. Let's go,
Steven. Good evening.
Yeah, Mr. Schubert, what's happening, buddy?
Shuby.
Jason.
Fisherman.
What's that? Fisherman? What?
Fly fishing.
Oh, Larry. Yeah. Larry Grossman. What's happening, buddy? Oh, Twin Palms Salty Adventures. That's who the Facebook user is.
Hey. So funny. I was past him. He passed me yesterday on 98, and I was looking at the back of his truck. And I'm like, why does that symbol look familiar? Kind of creep up a little more. Like, like go to the phone. And I call him, and of course he sees my California number, and he's like, I ain't answering that. I don't know what the hell this is. He texts me back later. I'm sorry I didn't call you or text you back today. I got super busy, that's for sure. Kayla, hi. I didn't, even though you're off screen.
Yeah. What's she got? She jumped on. Hello.
Vernon, I owe you something from the Finding Demo Surf Fishing Podcast. I'm going to go ahead and steal this part of the show. I owe you a treat because I didn't get to announce this. Vernon was my 600th like to the podcast.
Nice.
So thank you so much for supporting the show. All you listen to my podcast. Thank you. And I'm really thankful for being here. But Vernon, I owe you something. So I will have something working with you. I will talk to you later about it. But I was going to message you. Congratulations. Thank you so much for your help and everyone that's followed.
That is awesome. 600. Nice. Look at everybody jumping on. Mr. Burford, what is happening, buddy? Mark Burford.
East Coast.
Checking in.
Thought you were one of those telemarketers. That's fair, bro. It's totally fair.
Thought you were a telemarketer.
Yeah. And in the same, thanks, Jacob. Appreciate it. And on the same one, that is the only reason I actually kept my California number. Because for work, I know if I get a California call, I know it's spam, so I don't have to answer it. Or if I had an 850 number, I would always be wondering, like, all right, is this a customer? Is this going to be this? It was just aggravating. So it's kind of worked out.
If you had an Android phone, it would come up as a spam risk. It would tell you that. I'm just saying. It's for all the iPhone users out there.
What is that noise in the background you've got going on? It sounds like a dying turtle or something.
Me?
Yeah.
I wonder. Okay, hang on.
I think it's the fan.
Might be. Did it stop?
I have the voice of a telemarketer. Smooth and sexy. Silver tongue devil every time, Jacob. All right. And the iPhone does let me know when I have spam ones. They're getting good now, dude. They're actually getting names on the accounts.
Ooh, nice.
So when you get a caller ID, it'll come up with a legit name. It's like, oh, you got me. Good job. Real good job.
Oh, they when they call you, they actually say, hey, Brian.
No. So, like the newest thing has been the caller ID on the cell phones nowadays. Like if you get an incoming call, sometimes it'll say their name. Most of the time it's happened on the iPhone. I don't know if you Droid people have that. Peasants. It's been coming up and it's been weird. So that's been a really good move. All right. As we digress.
Yes, we did. Wait. Hey, we're here to talk about fishing and
what's going on. Fishing.
And what's going on. Did you get out and fish at all this week?
I did not. I have, unfortunately, Jen is sick, and she is not. I haven't felt comfortable leaving her alone for a long period of time. She's been really lightheaded, so we unfortunately spent a few hours at the ER, and this week just didn't improve. She's finally starting to get better, so hopefully tomorrow will be a little bit better. We don't know yet.
Awesome. You fish? Yeah, we do inshore and we went offshore on Tuesday.
Did you?
Went out and hit some spots just out there in Pensacola. Did okay. caught fish, caught probably the biggest remora. I should have brought it up on the pictures, but biggest remora I think I've ever seen. The thing was over 3 feet. Now, the interesting thing is I want to know what it was following and attached to.
Something that big?
That's the, that's what Jack and I both said that. He and I got out. And then we came back in. Winds kicked up out of the east. So then we came back in and hit some base spots, and we did all right.
Did you go to did you go out, or where'd you go? Did you go out or just stay close to the bayside?
We went out through the pass, trolled along Fort Pickens there for a while to see if we could pick up some Spanish and stuff, and then ran out to some of the public numbers fishing grounds. Nice. I got a bunch of numbers from a buddy of mine that I need to put into my machine specific for Pensacola. That I'm excited about that.
You guys and your
and grateful that he shared them. So that's always good.
Well, speaking of that, I'm actually going to have to ask Sean this because, yes, that's right, everybody. We do have the Lawless Tide coming on tonight. We've also got Capt Mark and good old JT popping in again. But I'm going to have to ask Sean. I don't know if he's using electronics or not in his kayak. I don't think he was. I think he was going slick. But it was something I was wondering about some kayaks. I definitely want to bring that up later on today with him.
We'll have to do a segment on kayakers and kayak fishing and setup and stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of people around here that are doing it.
Well, that leaves a good segue, and I'll just go ahead and
Yes, it is. Go right ahead.
Go ahead and blow that one right out. So, for those of you that haven't seen today's little what's that? What's that?
I thought that's what you were going for. Go
ahead. That's fine. I'll go that route. So there's some stuff happening.
Speaking of kayaks.
Yep. So that is why. That's part of it. Okay. So with kayaks right now, ladies and gentlemen, I just talked to Half Hitch today. They just got in a couple of PDL 120s and a Salty 120. I have a kayak-related gift for you. Oh, hey, Donnie. All right, fine. Gift shall be received, and I'll have one in return. And I also called Emerald Coast Bait and Tackle, which is also going to come with this shirt while we're talking about it. Emerald Coast Bait and Tackle also just recently got a shipment in of Old Town kayaks. So if you are getting into the kayak game, they went really fast last time. If you're looking at getting into a kayak, both of those shops are a great place to go have a conversation with. I do believe Hammerhead as well, but I can't talk about that one because I don't know. But I know that our local two here in this area of Navarre, they have kayaks and ready to rock and roll. So if you're in the market, it'd be a great time to go talk to them. The other reason I bring that up is the price that is set to them is not, they don't control that. That is actually done by Old Town. I actually verified that. So no BS. There's no playing around in that. So the price went up significantly from last year to now. It's just how things are going. So if you've been thinking about it, it'd probably be a good idea to get your hands into the game sooner rather than later.
Absolutely.
And the shirt.
Yeah. Speaking of Emerald Coast Bait and Tackle, they are our show sponsor for this week. We will be doing a giveaway. They're located at 232 Eglin Parkway. If you guys haven't been there, down there in Fort Walton Beach, get down there and see Josh and Anna and Isaiah and the whole crew down there. They'll get you set up. And what you need. They're fully stocked for inshore, offshore, surf. I mean, they got great selection, rods, reels, you name it, clothing. They are loaded up. And of course, kayaks, beach carts, whatever you need. So get down there and go see the folks down there at Emerald Coast Bait and Tackle. Now, I was holding up the shirt because tonight on this episode, we will be giving away 2 shirts. Now, all you have to do, we'll give you 2 winners. So 1 shirt apiece. Is leave comments. Brian and I, before the show, have predetermined a time 2 times in the show. And whoever comments closer to those 2 times, yes, dose, Jacob Williams. Whoever comments closest to those 2 times will be our shirt winners. Brian and I will announce that at the end of the show. We'll go back real quick, scroll through. That'll be the last thing we do before we go off air and let you know who won. And then we'll get with you guys after the show for addresses to send these to. So
comments cannot be emojis or weird figures. They have to be engaging mid-conversation with it. So it has to be part of the show. As
Absolutely.
I know, a couple of you will be doing emojis or markers to make sure that
I see Larry already put in here. Larry Grossman comment. That doesn't it's got to be an engaging comment, something we can discuss and talk about. So
how do you got Kayla right there? It's not even fair.
I'm on the show. Am I eligible? No. Captains are not eligible. Our captains are not eligible. for that. So, along with Emerald Coast Bait and Tackle, as always, our other sponsors that are often offering some great discounts for you guys. Rogue Reel's discount ended last week, but we've been talking with Rob down there. That will be coming back in a few weeks. He'll be running another special for the Panhandle Fishing Report. We also have the GI Jigs with discount code PFR that is going right now. Go Mexis, only for the knobs. We're still trying to get the handles, but if you've been following Go Mexis, you now know they've also come out with the red and black knobs for the HS series, and they've also have the blue and black for the Battle LEs. Now, they're advertised for Battle and Spin Fishers. We tried it today. Yesterday, they also fit the Fierce line as well. So the Fierce is red and black. So if you want to upgrade your handle on a Fierce, you can order one of the red and black handles off the site, and it's a direct replacement and will fit. So that's awesome. And then what else? Waterlands discount, 15% for sunglasses. That's using code SSF for Smitty Surf Fishing. So a lot of stuff.
Didn't talk about this pre-show with you. But that's because I suck and I haven't been a good friend and haven't been calling you. Plus, when I call, I feel bad. Shandy always makes me feel bad.
Shandy does when you call. What is up, Tony? Mr. Fagioni.
Hey, Tony. Yeah, because, Shandy always makes the joke, God, you guys are on the phone all the time. Well, we are. Sorry.
I think they both wives do that. They're like, hey, what do you guys
says it all the time. Jen reminds me.
Yeah. Anyway.
What you got? I picked up a new sponsor for both the podcast and the live cast.
Awesome.
And that will be Aquaflage.
Nice.
Apparel is now also on the show. So if you would like a 10% discount code for Aquaflage gear, that's shirts, hats, all equipment, I will have the code put up for everyone. But that is another one that has come to life.
Awesome, brother.
Discount code on that.
We'll have to talk afterwards on that one.
Yep. Sorry.
I got some stuff to fill you in on.
Yes, we can talk after.
Yeah, I know. We can talk after, as we normally do. Who else is jumping on here? So if you want to hit those, or you can hit the season openers and closers. Which ones do you want to do?
Let's go closers.
Okay. So we do have some closers coming up soon. Triggerfish closes 31 May. So get out there now. I got about another 2 weeks to get on the triggers, but reopens 1 August and it'll run through the end of the year. Amberjack also closing 31 May, but reopens 1 August again and then runs through Halloween 31 October. Mm-hmm. With those closures, we also have openings coming up. So grouper, you guys got to get out there and get on those grouper. Season opens 1 June, runs to the end of the year, 31 December. And as always, everyone's favorite snapper season, which everyone's gearing up for, 17 June coming up, and it'll run through the end of July with some smattering of weekend dates through the fall, which is awesome.
Dude, I'm loving I'll admit, I get a little sad when I see the whole, like, oh, hey, this is closing. I feel a little bit like, oh, but then you get that nice email later on, and it's like, hey, this is open. It's like, oh, sweet.
Yes, it's coming back. Yeah. Yeah. Aquaflage people also had Salt Life at one point. Were they combined, Salt Life and Aquaflage?
I didn't know that. If they branched off, I wasn't sure. That's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good stuff we can talk about.
I hate to say it. I really get surprised when I find out about the more behind the scenes things. And it's never right in the way you find about it. It's only until you're there and then you find out more and more and more. So, Jacob, don't you dislike it when it's not snapper season and you catch giants and season opens and you don't catch nothing? Dude, it's like they know.
Have you seen Captain Mark Hotz's Instagram page?
Yes.
Mark catches some monster snapper, and unfortunately it was not snapper season. And he's coming up tonight, so we can talk to him about that. That's a great question to ask him. Don't you hate it when you catch those monsters and it's not snapper season? We did that from the beach last year.
Yeah. That's right. That one monster, yeah. And it's like I've seen that with Sean with his videos. Snapper. They're out there for something else, out on the deeper side. And then as soon as we get the one snapper run, it's like, hey, where is it?
Yeah, exactly. What happened to snapper season? I thought they were loaded out here, but they're not dumb. No, they're not, Kayla. They the more and more I fish, the more and more I find out. They grow up in schools. Nice one. We need a soundboard. That would be awesome.
I will find a way to get my friggin' keyboard thing to work in there. I've got something working on that one.
There we go. All right. Question of the week.
All right. With it. What do you prefer, artificial or live bait? I'm a situational kind of person. So from the surf, I want fresh dead. That's me. Okay. I can, but if I'm inshore, I'll give me live shrimp all day, baby. All day.
That's, I tell folks when we go out and we're on the beach, and part of when doing a charter with me is you go out and we're going to learn. I'm going to teach you how to surf fish so you can come back and do it yourself. Right. That's what I want. That's my goal. And I tell people all the time, don't waste your time. Okay. Bait shop owners, plug your ears. Don't waste your time buying shrimp from the bait store unless you are going to target fish that want live shrimp. For instance, you're floating them under a popping cork. You're going to rig them Carolina style you're targeting stuff. If you're just going to put a live shrimp on a pompano rig, I think it's a waste of resources. Because if anybody's been listening to your podcast, the Finding Demo Surf Fishing podcast, today was an excellent example. You had Tony Fagione on there, the inventor, creator of Fish Gum, and talking about bait diversity and having them out there, and pompano that are not going to eat anything that they can't fit in their mouth. What did he say? Elephant eat peanuts, I think was the quote he used. All day long.
Yeah, the bait game, and we got comments rolling all the way through here. So, Blaine with artificial. Man. When him and I went fishing in the kayaks, artificial was definitely the key. We were out there with fight clubs. Great piece of bait. We've seen Bun slaying flatties with those things. Artificials are great for that for sure. Mark, fresh is best in the surf. Yep. Hell, we've seen how they crush things with those fresh dead clams and all that when they crack them and get to town.
Yeah. East Coast clams, man, fresh live clams. Crush it.
And over here, we've seen it. Clam is kind of a hard one to see. It doesn't seem to work for us that well. I mean, Fish Bites clam does okay. But it's the clam itself. I've never had a super win on clams. That's just me. I know Mark's had a lot more, but Mark's also a better fisherman than I am. So it's good stuff. What I think that what kills me though is when we get the tourists or the outer towners come in and they put that whole piece of shrimp on the hook on the pompano rig and then they throw it out. And it's Absolutely. Like you see it go that way, but it's like, dude, it's way too much. It's too big. You got to shorten up that profile.
Yeah, absolutely. And something about the size of your thumbnail is what I tell folks, about an inch long. That whole live shrimp will get you 4 or 5 baits out of that. You know what I mean? You're kind of wasting. Just go to Publix or Winn-Dixie or somewhere along that line and grab them.
Robert, history of my life. When I'm working, everyone's catching pompano, and I'm just catching kitty and whiting. Hey, at least you're catching whiting, bud. I mean, that's good stuff right there. I absolutely love that one. The Responte, the Alabama Surf Co. Artificials, Sightcast, Biggins. Nice. Okay. Flow.
Speaking of Sightcast and big ones, did you see Jack Moran Sightcast that hammerhead off the beat? Oh, anyway, I digress.
Jack is really good. Oh, Alex owes you an apology, also known as our wonderful True Braid guy.
True Braid, that's right. It's all good, man. Beyond Braid said they had it. I'll just go with them. It's all good. I'm just messing with you, man. It's all good fun, man. All in good fun.
Robert Ramos.
I'm waiting for the hot pink. I'm waiting on the hot pink because that's what I'm spooling up the shark rigs with. So
Tony came up with a good question, and I think this is great here because this could go from across all the sides. Does anyone know when the shrimp run is in our bays and sounds? We should be able to catch and cook them. I've never done it before. That's a great one because we've seen a lot of. I mean, I don't know. I don't mean to speak for you. I apologize.
No, yeah, go ahead.
But I see a lot of the YouTube videos start popping up about shrimping. Guys are going out doing their cast nets and they're close by. I've always wondered when that was. So, have you done it?
No, and I know it's more so. So I think around here, it's more tribal knowledge. Like the stuff doesn't get out. Like if it's on, you're not going to know about it. over on the East Coast, up in like Jacksonville area, I mean, it's on and it's advertised, and everybody goes out and fills up the buckets and the coolers and everything else. North Carolina was the same way in Jacksonville, North Carolina, when I was there. And you go out there and it's, the shrimp run's happening and boom, you just load up. Here, I don't see as much of that, and it's a very hush hush.
Okay.
If they are running, but it should be within the next 2 weeks or so.
Okay, there you go. All right. So beyond this, another one we can add the captains to. Beyond who, good call. Cheyenne, hello. Jacob, there's a bayou here that I can throw a net from shore and get them. That's really cool. Okay. I thought you always had to go in the boat. Stephen Durant, thanks. But I have close family who's a shrimper. Okay, that makes sense. We can ask the captains app. So we got 2 good questions tonight. So everybody's been doing really good with these on those conversation pieces there when it came down to artificial or live. Those are all great. Yeah. Plus, also, I think with all 3 captains we're going to talk with tonight, JT having his style for inshore, Mark on that close side, and Sean doing all pieces. I'm sure that we're going to get something out of them that they're going to have a good turn for us there.
I'm curious. I can almost, knowing our captains like we do. I think I can predict what each one's going to say already.
Well,
let's do a little thing. Let's do a poll.
Let's add that in.
Let's do that. Let's add that to the show here.
All right.
I'm going to say Capt Hotze there is going to be artificial. Justin is going to do artificial. And Sean, I think, is going to go live bait.
Okay.
I'm saying artificial, live.
I'm going to agree with you for Justin.
Okay.
Mark, I'm going to disagree. I think Mark might go live, but I mean, I bet you he's more artificial, but I'm going to take a shot at him possibly being live once in a while. And Sean, I know Sean trolls a lot with artificials. I mean, staring at his videos, but I want to say he will throw live as well, depending on his situation. So I'm probably wrong, but I'm okay with it. So
so you're going live, fake, live.
Yep.
I'm going live, fake, live. Okay. This should be interesting.
Steven. Right. Oh, wait, we got a couple in here. Dustin Berg. I think it's around June through August in Jacksonville. Okay. Yep. Donnie. Z-Man Soft Plastics is targeting inshore freshwater, live, fresh, dead in the surf. I like it. Yeah. I like it a lot. Yeah. Stephen Durant, I hope Tony of Fish Gun makes a solution we can buy to treat corn and other baits like fresh, dead shrimp. Be careful what you wish for, sir.
I'm going to say
Well, it's Tony's story to tell. I'm not saying anything. He's watching. So, Tony, you can jump in the comments whenever you want. Kayla, Mark is a live wire. All right. Robert, artificial or live. Artificial Smitty will get it right. Jacob. All right.
I called it fake. So he said artificial. Get it right. I got it. It's all good. It's all good. All right.
I didn't understand that. Dyslexia.
Live and fresh surf artificial from the pier. Yep. That's right.
Ooh, the pier. Tony. That's all right, let's get into the captains here. We're at 23. So we got 2 questions for him. We got a poll. So
there we go.
Fire away, good sir.
Let me pull this down. Okay, folks, back with us again. He brought us GI jigs and shipwreck rum. Let's bring on and welcome Capt Mark Hotze. Yay! What is up, buddy?
Hey, guys.
How are you doing tonight?
Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. Thanks for joining us and providing the reports. Let me find your banner here. Here we go.
I was listening pretty close to you guys, and I'm torn on which one of you that I want to agree with tonight. But I have to say I'm a jigger. I'm a lure guy. I remember that at heart. Now on charters, it's not often that I get the people who want to do that. Most people are expecting a cooler full of fish, so we have to go bait direction a lot. But for me personally, I think a 20-inch fish on a jig counts to me more than a 30-inch fish on a live bait. Sometimes we're not fishing for sustenance, you know. I tell people it's a lot cheaper to go to Publix to find food, but it's a fight, it's a sport, it's fun. So if I can throw a jig, I'm gonna throw a jig.
Absolutely, that's what I thought. So that one for Mike. One for Smitty. All right.
Yeah.
It's like a halvesy, man. Oh, it's fair. No,
Well, I also went to the seminar and
You did.
heard you talk about jigging for snapper and stuff out there with the half hitch Tim Broom and then the Shimano guys and everything. So,
So you had a little bit of insight.
yeah, and all the pictures with the GI jig stuff that you guys have taught.
I knew
the
you
work
jig.
with Lonnie.
And you've talked to us so much about how important slow jigging is and why it's so much fun and all those pieces. But I had to throw a curve in there just in case. It was like, I thought on charters. That was the only reason I went to it. Was like, but I bet on charters, it's not always jigging. There's got to be some bait usage.
And you're absolutely right. And I think our best fish, when I get to fish, every day kind of runs into each other. But a couple of days ago, we went out pretty far. I'd say we caught, I don't know, maybe 15 mahi, 3 scamp, a couple other bottom fish. But the fish that I remember the most was on the jig. So, and I didn't think it was what it was, and it was a beautiful scamp off of that jig. But we caught a lot of stuff off live bait, but the fish I remember the most was off the jig. So I have to go with Smitty on this one.
I get that completely. Look at those pretty little fishies.
Yeah, you guys, where's that one, the bucket full? That one right there, man.
Yeah,
that's a bucket of mahi right there.
That's mahi?
Those things are really starting to show up everywhere. I guess, I'm sure you guys saw the Hilton's report and all the grass. Obviously, you guys have been following the grass so much lately. I think that's, to a certain extent, really good for our fishery because of all the juvenile life and all the stuff that it's bringing with it. Right. What I never thought, I like, especially this time of year, I love king mackerel fishing, but I never in my wildest dreams thought I would catch mahi before king mackerel in a year. But if you look at the numbers of mahi that we've caught, and I've hooked a couple big kings, and the craziest part is, and I have a little list of things here that I kind of wanted to talk about. And
go ahead.
Kings are at the end of that list. But guys, we ran to a spot that is known for good kings. It was so calm this week. You guys saw the weather. Like, it was beautiful. And I had my trolling motor down because I like to jig for kings. And guys, I could see them in the water underneath the boat. About 10 feet down, just kind of hanging out. I first put a live bait in just because I was like, all right, if it's going to hit anything, it's going to hit this live bait. And I dropped it right in front of its nose, and it kind of came over and touched it and wouldn't bite. So I tried to get him with the jig. I tried to put other stuff down, and the kings are here, but they're just not biting yet. I think with that big wolf moon we had, it kind of changed the fishing a lot. So we kind of targeted other stuff. But I saw, was it yesterday or today, the pier started catching kings.
Yeah,
good kings.
I did see some nice kings off the pier today,
which is great. So hopefully that turns on. But it looks like we're going to get some weather this weekend, which is going to hurt.
Yeah.
But for me personally, with the kings not really being there, and late April, May, before grouper opens in June, and then obviously snapper, I like to go for kings on jigs, or if I have to drift baits, or I don't really like to troll much, but if I can do the king fishing, then I will. But for whatever reason, the last 2-3 weeks, maybe that blood moon or whatever, the black snapper have been off. Even the people I know who are bad at fishing are pulling in good black snappers right now.
I think that's when I messaged you, because I didn't catch any black snapper, and I was like, wait a minute, I must really suck at fishing.
Yeah, we need to talk. We need to talk about that.
Yeah,
and they can be very tricky to catch sometimes. But to get them up on the surface, and
look at that thing.
And those are just the ones that we kept. We probably could have had in the last week, maybe, I don't know, 100. Yeah. Easy estimate.
Crazy.
They're on the surface. So we were going to go out yesterday with fly rods and see if we could get them on the fly, but it looked like the winds were a little too much yesterday. But for us, it's just kind of one of those things that when a bite's there, you make up for it. And I think, looking at the numbers on Facebook and all that, everybody was catching black snappers this week.
So, Mark, I heard today, I was talking with Kyle down at Half Hitch. Kyle's one of the few guys that I talk to about pier stuff because the man is an excellent fisherman when it gets out there. In general, he's a great angler. But he was telling me that the foul weather is kind of a king happy time. They prefer a little bit more rough water. Is that accurate?
I think so. I think the biggest thing I've noticed for kings is the moon.
Okay.
When obviously, I mean, you look at most fish, and this everybody knows this. I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. Fish are white on the bottom; they're black on the top. If you look down on them, they blend in with the bottom. If you look up, they blend in on the surface. On these big full moons, I think these fish are looking up. The predator fish are looking up. They're feeding all night. So for me, when I know fishing's not. We know where the fish are. That's not the problem. It's getting them to bite. And this blood moon, I could see those kings, but I couldn't get them. I just couldn't get them to bite. And I tried to snag them. And I also saw the biggest barracuda I've ever seen in my life off of one of these spots. But I think pier fishing and beach fishing, some of those bigger fish like nastier weather. But for me on the boat, and especially on charters, I mean, I have to catch them every day. So it's a little different.
Okay.
So,
man, the mahi, the black snapper bite's been awesome. I mean, it's just everything out there. This time of year slows down for us as surf anglers and starts really ramping up for you guys on the offshore side, and even inshore. When we get to talking to JT here in a minute, speckled trout are out there on the flats. You know, the redfish are moving around more. And then you guys get out there, and this is what I'll call your happy time, I guess.
Yeah.
there. And
For me, I mean, I kind of look at the season starting when you guys start hammering pompano. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Most of the guys on our side of town too are all going after pompano. There are days where we'll go out on the bay or on the Gulf, and we'll get home and we're like, man, we should have been sitting on the beach catching pompano all day.
Yeah.
But right about that time too, I feel like the cobia show up, and normally those kings. So normally I go king looking for those guys until grouper opens and snapper. But for me personally, I mean, I never expected to have mahi numbers the way we have before I've even landed a king on my boat this year.
That's crazy.
You got a good question here from Vernon. Is water temperature much of a factor?
I think so, for sure. We kind of look for a certain number to get here every year, whether it's 68 for fish to really start showing. Personally, for me, I mean, I think the colder the water, a lot of these big fish, and Smitty, you were talking about this earlier with some of those big snappers, which are here all year, by the way. So I'll send you pictures in June. But a lot of those bigger fish, those big snappers and big groupers are all enclosed. So for me, wintertime, springtime's fun. I call it CPR, my catch, photograph, release, and vent or release right. There's a way to handle those fish.
Yeah.
That's springtime. And then once things get 68, 70-ish, things start getting a lot better. And I think last time we went out, I think the bay was like 77. And the farther offshore we got it cooled off a little bit, but those fish are here. So I think you can tell by the look on my face. Like, I'm really excited. I just want this storm to pass by this weekend so I can go fishing again.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, me too.
So you guys you're going to get after it then.
Yeah. I did want to throw out, there was a little fishing tournament at Legendary this week with Destin High School. And they had some really cool catches off of the piers there, some big black drums and big trout. So I am looking forward to, I donated a trip for the winner of that. So I am just giving him a little shout out to say I'm looking forward to go make him catch something a lot bigger in the Gulf.
That's awesome.
Another thing too, I know you guys will get into weather, and I study the weather a lot myself. I'm kind of a nerd. I have been watching the GFS a lot, and they were showing a big nasty storm coming up. I don't know. You're shaking your head. I think you saw that.
I keep looking. I'm looking at the hurricane tracker that I'm always looking at for this time of year, and I'm looking at other ones. I'm like, is it really coming? Like, it gets me worried. But I mean,
so all the other models. I read a big thing today. They're all laughing at the GFS, saying that high pressure ridge off the East Coast kind of won and pushed that thing off. So I don't think it's going to be too bad. But it did make me laugh. I had it in my notes here to kind of laugh at the weather forecast, but I'm sure you guys will cover all that.
Yeah, we went a little way ahead tonight. We sped up to get through.
Oopsie. And I'll speed this up too. But as far as the fishing report, black snapper have been everywhere. Mahi are there. There's big grouper everywhere. Some of those things are in close. I think the farthest I've been offshore this year has maybe been 4 or 5 miles. There's really good stuff close, but a lot of it, I mean, get the right captain, learn some stuff, listen to the Panhandle Fishing Report, listen to things like this,
there you go.
Learn stuff. The one other thing, I do have a giveaway that I would like to announce if I could.
Nice, go right ahead, man.
If you were gonna forget, I was gonna remind you.
We were getting ready to remind you. Yeah.
So, I was a big fan of Extra Tough boots for a long time. My only downfall was that they scuffed up my boat a lot. So I found another company, Half Hitch, kind of hooked me up with a pair of boots, and I started fishing in them all spring. Posted a lot of pictures of them and kind of met some of the guys. There's a company called Live Bottom, and Live Bottom makes an awesome fishing boot, and they're going to do a giveaway for followers of my page, the Panhandle Fishing Report, and Live Bottom, of a pair of deck boots for women and one for men. And I have mine here, and I'm not even going to tell you what these things are like sitting on the desk in front of me. But they're probably my favorite deck boot, and I thought for sure I was always going to be a flip-flop guy on my boat, but I'm a big fan of these. But I'll announce all the details and logistics on that giveaway on my site this week.
And then we'll share it over on ours. But if you guys aren't following Captain Mark Hotze on Instagram or on his Facebook page, the 30A Light Tackle Charters, get over there and follow him for more information on the boot giveaway. Those are going to be awesome. They look awesome. I mean, that's, Jack and I are looking for something to keep it, because I'm a flip-flop guy on the boat. And then we're always looking for something else. Yeah,
I'm a big fan. I told Kayla that earlier. Like, there's a lot of companies out there, and there's a lot of stuff going on, but there's some things that when they work right, just kind of fall into place and things like that. So
absolutely, it's crazy how that works out.
Yeah, the price on these boots is amazing.
Yeah,
are you looking at them?
Yeah,
hey, pay attention to the show. You can look at it later, man.
You squirreled me. Don't squirrel me.
Multitasking. I like it.
No, I'm a big fan. But as far as the fishing report goes, I mean, black snappers, and I could tell you all about how to catch them if you wanted to, but the black snappers are there, red snappers are there. That should be pretty easy once season opens. Groupers are there, and if they don't like the first, so one thing, and I know I'm running over my time here. If you're gonna try to jig first, then drop your frozen baits, then drop a live bait.
Nice.
But if you go in other directions, if you drop live baits first, the jig doesn't work as well. Frozen baits before jigs, there's kind of an order to things. So just try to keep in mind, like, if you do want to jig, when you get to a spot, if somebody drops a jig off one side and somebody drops a live bait off the other, and hurting your chances on the jig a little bit. So,
gotcha. That's good. Good point right there. See, it's all about knowledge, man. All about dropping knowledge.
And one of these days, I'll get you two on my boat.
Don't
there you go.
I need to go fishing like badly in your boats. Yes, please. All right. Well, good talking with you, man. So
out there.
I know I'll hear from you this week.
We got one more question, real quick. How much for what do the boots run? You got any idea?
I don't think they're not as expensive as Extra Toughs, but the easy answer for that question is they're free if you win the giveaway.
There you go.
On social media this week.
There you go, Alex. So if you're watching, follow Capt Mark Hotze on Instagram and Facebook on the 30A Light Tackle Charters, and go check out Live Bottom boots, and you'll get hooked up for that giveaway. Awesome, man. Great report as always. Cheers. We look forward to the next time.
Cheers.
We have you on the show. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Later.
All right. So we
always good talking to that guy. Knowledge has been dropped all the way around.
Dude, I want to get a mahi. That'd be so fun. Anyway,
I just want to go out there and after having that cobia follow up. So when we went out the other day, we had a cobia follow the GI jig all the way to the boat, swirled on it, and then went away. And we were like, it's because we weren't paying attention to it or anything. But I wish artificial jig fishing like that is exciting to me. And Jack loves it. Like that's the first thing he does is when we get to a spot, he throws out the GI jig, drops it to the bottom, and just starts jigging, bringing it back up. I mean, he's all about jig fishing.
Yeah. Oh man.
Awesome.
So, all right. Whoa. Here we go. So we've gone to the offshore, and now let's go into the inshore. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, welcome to the show, Captain Justin Thomas of Flat Spot Charters out in Panama City. Wait, you click.
You did it, and I did it at the same time. I was like, "Am I bringing it? Are you doing it? What's it?"
I was trying to move the mouse. Good evening to you, sir.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Oh,
what's up,
great.
JT?
Good to see you.
Good to see you guys too.
What you got on the wall?
Welcome back to the show. You got a lot more stuff hanging up there now.
More red.
No, I don't. I have less stuff.
Oh, really? You gave it all to Schubert, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Hey, don't let him fool you. You guys know he only uses one lure, so it's not like
I do.
He's switching anything up.
It is true.
He was messaging me the other day, Capt Mark Hotze. Great addition to the team, to the Panhandle Fishing Report team for our inshore reports, and is a big fan of the Miradine, just like me.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
So speaking of that, though, man, I tell you what, I don't know if it's just me, but I have seen more big trout this year than probably the last 3 combined.
Really?
Yeah, dude, they're giants.
There are a lot of people right now posting big trout in this area.
Big trout. Yep. Yeah. And what the stuff that I've been used to is, certain areas this time it's a dink fest. Well, the dinks aren't there. You'd usually go in there and catch, 20 little 14 inchers real quick and just move on. But now it's, they're all quality fish. And I've just been trying to wrap my head around it. And I can't figure out why they're better and why there's more of them. We've been seeing weird stuff. We've been seeing like bluefish way back in the creek and just strange things.
Did you say bluefish?
Yeah, man, like weird stuff going on.
I'm gonna share this real quick since we're talking about it. That is monster trout.
That's not
Yep.
I mean, look at it, and look in the gullet right there. That's a Miradine.
Giant. That's what I told him. I thought it was a damn northern pike.
It looks like it with that size and that body shape.
Yeah. I mean, and that's
giant, man.
That's relative of the size trout you're talking about that you guys are just smashing over there right now.
Yeah, they're there. And like I said, usually those places it's a whole bunch of little ones, and them little ones are not around. So I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I ain't got it figured out yet, but something's a little different this year. I'm not mad by any means. It's great. I'm happy to see him,
Yeah. Larry Grossman's talking, he's seeing some weird stuff too. Big bass at the mouth of Bayou Tar out there in
for sure.
That's and that's like right as it dumps into the bay, and you're catching largemouth bass right there.
Like fish that have no business being where they're at, and they're still there, Yeah. But that's cool. That's why we do this. Everything's different. You got to figure it out.
Absolutely. So from our question, the top of the show, live bait or artificial?
So I tell you what,
you can't
I hate to copy it, but I'm telling you, Mark couldn't have said it any better. That's the deal. If it's just me, I would prefer to throw nothing but artificial every single day.
Yeah.
But we run trips, and sometimes you get folks and they've never even picked up a spinning reel before. And not that that's bad, but you might as well just put the artificial down because it's not going to work out.
Right.
You'll learn how to cast by the end of the day, but
Right.
but it just, you really just got to kind of feel out what your folks can do. And sometimes it just ends up being all shrimp. Like yesterday, I had 3 dudes with me yesterday. One guy, spinning reel fly fishing. He will not throw a shrimp. He will not do it. Like that dude threw jigs and spoons until his arms fell off. And the other 2 dudes were nothing but, shrimp, and they were fine with that. But he was like, good on him. I told him, I was like, man, I would have quit like 2 hours ago. But
we did this has been like probably 15 years ago now, almost. Dang, that's a while. But I was TDY down here from Maryland, which is temporary duty. The military sent me down here for a couple days. I flew my dad down. We did a charter out of Panama City, and we were hell bent on fly fishing. The guy kept going. He's like, "Hey man, if you switch over, I know we're gonna get on them, right?" And we were like, "Nope, we're gonna get them on the fly. We're gonna get them," and we're flogging around. We're catching. We're trying to catch. My dad hooked up on a nice one, but then I was like, you know what? Screw this. I just want to catch fish. As soon as I switched over, man, we tore them up, man. That's
how my dad is. Fly or die, man.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's die.
I mean, on this one, artificial lures have come along so much. I mean, it's almost better than live. I will dare I say, and it's a lot easier to utilize, of course. But I mean, with fish bites, I've got to bring it up on that. With their scented pieces, with all those, it's done so many things when you throw these scented ones out and all these pieces. It's hard not to use an artificial.
They work pretty good. The challenge we've had this week, or especially yesterday, I'll tell you guys, man, like the bayous I was in, there was so much bait in there. Like you could walk across it. I mean, there was so much bait. It was unreal. And that, that can be a problem.
Yeah.
Like it can be a problem to where they have, pick of the litter. And it makes it hard to get bites. So, we were throwing shrimp, and, we were catching a lot of, like we caught quite a few redfish. Most of them were small. But we were getting bites. And
that's not a small redfish.
That's not a tiny red at all.
That's a nice size.
No, that's a good one. But a lot of them, a lot of the ones we caught were down there around, 16 inches, 17 inches. That one was 26 3/4. That's a good tournament fish for anybody.
Yeah.
All day.
She's a little skinny like that. I would call that one a perfect kayak tournament fish.
Okay.
Not a perfect weigh-in tournament fish.
Gotcha.
Yeah. She's a little skinny, but
and these are always fun. I mean, look at that size right there. Just is that they're for little freight trains back there, man.
Yeah. And that was the first ones those guys ever caught. So, they had a blast.
That's awesome.
You see the fly rod sitting down there on the ground. He was like, I'm done with this.
Even had the cover on.
That thing had been put away for the rest of the day. But like we were catching them, and they were spitting up, pinfish and glass minnows and just teeny tiny baits. And those pinfish, I mean, we're talking like quarter, like baby pinfish. So very, very soon, some of that the small bait's gonna thin out, and the bigger bait's gonna be in there, and it's gonna be on real soon.
Yeah, that's
because those groups of bigger ones, they're still there. They're just out chasing bigger stuff around. But once that, they get those bigger pins and those bigger, little shad or whatever, pilchards, whatever you want to call them, you get that up in the grass, it's going to be on.
Right.
Water temp is 83 degrees.
Ooh.
Like it's cooking, but man, I'm telling you, the bait is thick. It is, it's really thick. It's just really small bait, so it's hard to duplicate.
Okay.
little rain minnows, and I bet GI jig would work good.
Yeah.
Throwing a little half
Yeah.
ounce in there.
It would.
A lot of tiny minnows.
Yeah, that's all. This I like, and I'm glad I got the boat now so I can transition to going back, because before when I had my other boats, this time of year was my favorite to run. And just like Chris, I mean, I'll throw the Mirrodine all day long, because I have such confidence in it that I know it works. And then
It does.
popping corks and everything. I mean, it's just, I love this time of year on the flats. It's just nothing like it.
So if you're using the dime, or you're talking about the GI there, when you're going to throw it, are you doing a turn and burn, just launch and fly and just burn it back in, or are you playing around jigging it?
Are you talking to me?
If I was targeting, I would throw the half ounce, the real small one, and I would just kind of bounce it and just, a bounce and turn, just kind of working it erratically through there. I wouldn't let it hit the bottom. I wouldn't let it stop. I would just continuous motion with it, but I would throw the lightest jig possible is what I would do.
So you wouldn't burn it.
Yeah.
No. It's not like you're Spanish fishing where you're going to throw it out and then just reel to bring it back in. You want a steady retrieve, but more of an erratic. And maybe I'd stop and let it just drop and then pick it back up again and let it go. It just
Yeah, I think these bait balls are so big. You throw that thing around there and jig it back through, something's going to hammer it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's just one of those. I know it sounds crazy, but it's too much bait right now.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. When it's thick like that, I mean, it's hard to get them, entice them to eat anything. So Mark says that's where the rain minnow actually came from. LJ caught a big bluefish and it threw up rain minnows all over the boat.
Yeah.
So he went home and made a jig. Yeah.
Smart.
I mean, that's a smart fisherman right there. He's like, holy crap, look at these things are out here gorging themselves. Let's go
that's right.
match the hatch,
Yeah.
But it's good. Like, I'm getting into places I haven't been able to get into in months because the tides get normal again. It's cool, I can finally run places and not get stuck in the mud. So I like that.
Yeah, I bet. There's no more getting out and pushing.
Yeah, I didn't have to do that yesterday. That was the first time in a while, so that was nice.
Yeah.
So I think this is the first time we talked to you on the show since you got the new boat. How's it running?
Man, that thing is amazing. It's like that thing just eats chop. It's unbelievable.
That is awesome. So tell folks what you did pick up. Is it the 634 Blazer Bay?
Yeah, I got a Blazer Bay 675.
675. Nice.
And it's got a Suzuki 250, very good on gas mileage.
Yeah, real good on gas, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. But yeah, that thing, it's only a 22-foot boat, but it's got flush mounted trim tabs, and I mean it'll pop right up. I can almost get that thing to get up on pad without any blowout with the jack plate all the way up. Like I just got to do a little prop work to it, and then it'll be
nice.
That thing will be a rocket ship. Like,
that's awesome.
Like, I got it up in about 15 inches yesterday. Just had to bounce it a little bit, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a good boat.
Nice.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Seriously.
Can't wait to get over and see it.
Come on up, man.
Check it out. I know.
It's got some really comfy seats for you guys.
Brian and I are just gonna have to get a little map or whatever and start pinning out. Okay, we got to go fish here this day. We got to go over and meet this guy, fish that day. I mean, it's not a bad problem to have, I guess.
No.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody feels awful for you.
I'm sure they do.
It is a really rough life.
It is. We got Bill over here says, caught a big trout in Panama City. They ate a Mirrodine and then threw up 2 5-inch pinfish.
Yeah.
That's why he was going after the Mirrodine. I mean, that thing, I love fishing with that. You guys that don't know what we're talking about, Mirror Lure makes the Mirrodine. little bait fish looking deal. I like the one about, what is that, 3 inches or so, roughly 3.5 inches. That thing's awesome. And I swap out all my yeah, no, Vernon, I know you feel sorry for us, but I swap out my trebles on them. I have a single hook on the front, and then my dad was a fly fisherman. He tied up a bunch of trocar hooks. So it's a treble hook basically, but it's got a longer center shank hook on there for those short striking fish that are just amazing. And put a little feather teaser on there, and it works.
A little teaser.
Oh man, it's awesome. I'll have to show them to you.
Dude, the twitch bait that I use almost exclusively, it's like one of them soft ones. If you've ever seen the Steve Brown peanut, that's what I use. But they ain't cheap and they don't hold up, but
yeah,
man, they cast like bullets and I just love them. But
that's what a lot of guys in Virginia used. Were those brown baits like that were, if it's the same one I'm thinking of, I think it is, but it's real soft plastic with the big eye.
Yeah, it's got a big eye. It's a different one. You might be thinking of like the Corky or something.
There you go. The Corky is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Exactly
this is a little smaller one. It's called a peanut, and it's got the little feather teaser on it, and it's a short, fat one. And I like it because you can throw it like a bomb. I mean, it goes a mile, and that's more important to me than just about anything.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
I mean, they're like, the only problem is they're soft, soft plastic, $1 a piece.
Yeah.
So
they get tore up.
What are you going to do? They get tore up. But like everybody gripes about bait prices, but you know what? If I rip through a $15 bait in a day and it gets destroyed, that was probably worth $15.
Absolutely.
I definitely had $15 worth of fun.
Well, you and your clients as well, and that's another thing.
Yeah, for sure, man.
If they tear up a $15 lure and they're catching fish on every cast or thereabouts, man, there's nothing like it.
Worth every penny.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Well, Captain, as always, folks want to get in touch with you. How do they contact you?
Flat Spot Fishing on Instagram or Flat Spot Charters on Facebook. That's the best way.
Nice. Put a feather on the top water lure and see what happens. No, that's what I'm talking about, JC. So those treble hooks that are tied up, that's exactly what they have. It's like a little feather teaser on there, and it makes all the difference sometimes. Yeah,
get you a spook, put a feather treble on there, and then tie on a bill rig.
Yeah, there you go. Which was catching fish this weekend. We'll get to that at the end, but that was
of course it was.
Of course it was. That's all right. Awesome, brother. Well, great report. We can't wait to get you back on here.
All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Justin. Nice, man. It's always that's why we do this, is to I gotta find my banner here. Here we go. Is to drop that knowledge for everybody. You know what I mean? Like getting that stuff out there, that's why we do it. Speaking of knowledge, this guy right here we're getting ready to bring up has been dropping a lot lately. If you're following him on YouTube and everything, yeah, he's rolling his eyes in the green room. Y'all, welcome to the show, Mr. Sean Lawless of the Lawless Tide. What is up, buddy?
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's kind of hard not to say that about you, dude, because you are that angler. You are and you've been on it. You've just been crushing it, man.
I learned today what a soap fish was. I did not know that.
So well, I didn't know 2 days ago. So
I mean, here I thought we were catching juvenile grouper, and come to find out it's a toxic fish that you shouldn't be messing with.
Yeah, I saw that picture of you holding it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, and it didn't taste too bad either. I'm just kidding. We didn't eat it. So what's been going on, buddy? You've been all over the place.
Yeah, I had a buddy come in from out of town, from Oklahoma, and it's really his first time to saltwater fish. So I spent all last week trying to convince him that I really do catch fish. And it went so-so. It wasn't like exceptional fishing, but for him, he didn't know any better, so he thought it was pretty awesome.
No, it was. I'm getting ready to bring your pictures up here real quick. No, you guys were crushing them, and then, I mean, went offshore there.
Yep. It was a horrible day. There, we couldn't find any bait. You couldn't even find any on your side scan. We don't know where it went to, but yeah. So luckily, I brought a frozen bonita, so we chunked that up and dropped some bonitas. Tried some jigging, did a little jigging.
Is that a lizard fish? That's what it looks like on the
repel. Yeah. It was a big lizard fish. Yep,
that is a big lizard.
So you do have electronics on the kayak.
Oh yeah, that's for me. It's essential when I go offshore.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
Yeah,
there are guys that do it though with their phone. Because I mean, you don't have to be directly over the structures to catch fish, and the GPS on your phone will get you in the vicinity.
Okay. That's the day you went out with Brock and Brad.
Yeah, yep. That was a pretty brutal day too. It was just a rough bite that week.
Oh, I got a triggerfish though. I mean,
yeah.
For someone who doesn't saltwater fish, and then you guys, I think we showed these last week on you when I was scrolling through. But man, what a nighttime bite right now.
Oh yeah. Oh, we tried. I hooked up 3 times. We had the biggest drum I've ever seen, and I've seen some pretty big drums. These were pushing 50 pounds. I hooked them 3 times. One time he broke me off. The other 2 times the hook pulled. But yeah, and we're in the dark under the lights, and it's pretty fun. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it gets the old adrenaline going, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Especially at nighttime when you hook into something like that.
Yep. Yeah, that was a blast.
I'd be freaking out. I'll admit that. The idea of going, I know it's out there at night, which makes it worse. It's like,
I know. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure those big ones come into the bay and to the bayous, and
out and in. Yeah.
Stuff.
So what do you run, Sean? We have that question of the night. Are you live? Or are you artificial?
And that's a loaded question. Like what for?
That's exactly. Yeah, I think that's the best part because it does run into that.
I mean, because I love throwing artificial, but my really favorite thing to do is get like a big hardtail, 12-inch hardtail, drop them on the reef and see what happens. That's always that's my favorite, is dropping a big live bait on the reef. But I just started doing some slow pitch jigging, and that's really changed things from the kayak, because the high speed jigging is not conducive to kayak fishing.
No, not at all.
But I can do the slow pitch. You can do.
Is that with the new Frisky rod?
No, that was a sheep's head rod. No, I had a Shimano Slow J, and I was at Hathaway day before yesterday, and I hooked in something that snapped it like almost instant.
Really?
So, yeah. Yeah, I had to edit out like the next 15 seconds.
Oh,
fair. Very fair.
I'll have to go back and watch that one.
Yeah, it just happened so fast. It was, I don't know. Still trying to figure out. It didn't seem like a shark, because usually when I hook a shark like that, they dart off one direction or the other. And this just went straight down.
It's called a Goliath.
Yeah,
it could have been. Yeah, it was something bigger than I was ready to handle. That's for sure.
Yeah, so especially in the kayak.
Yeah. Sean, do you do much pier? I haven't seen you do.
No, I don't do a lot. I just don't like the crowds,
the atmosphere. Yeah,
and it's just not my thing. I'll go every once in a while, like on rainy days and stuff. I'll go out there, and
when it's less crowded.
Yeah.
I got you.
So I've seen you in the kayak running for Spanish. Normally, you're always running a trawler, and you're not always targeting Spanish with that or kings with that. You're kind of what are you targeting when you're trawling?
When in the inshore, offshore
normally, because I see a lot more of your videos in the offshore. I know you go in as well, but I know you've been really crushing it on the offshore side.
Yeah, I've really gotten where I like using artificials for trolling. It's just so much easier. and it's just simpler. You just put it on and go, and you don't have to worry about changing your baits out or anything. And I've had real good luck. I mean, really, when I'm trolling offshore, I'm just whatever bites. I mean, I like hooking into the big kings and all, but also like filling the freezer with bonita for my shark trips too. So it, whatever hits, and I'm usually pretty happy unless it's one of those stinking remora.
Yeah. I don't know. That remora I caught the other day, man. I thought for sure it was a cobia. That thing was huge. It is. That thing was awesome. I'm going to bring up this one too, since we're getting there. That the big trout you caught and the mangrove that you caught the other day. I mean, that's a stud of a black snapper right there.
Yeah, that was nice. And it was the day that was like just really, it was really tough fishing on the reef. I tried jigging, I tried everything. And so I was like, I'm just going to put on a deep troller and I'm going to troll over the reef.
Mm-hmm.
And that I hooked them trolling over the reef.
No kidding.
Yeah.
There you go, Brian.
Just fine. I'll take the kayak offshore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was shocked. I thought it was a decent red snapper. And then I saw that, that little darker orangey look, and I couldn't believe it.
Well, the good thing is, if had it been a red snapper, you'd had to send it back. But this way, you could take it home, make a sandwich out of it or something.
Yeah, that made a good meal. That sure did.
Which way? Hang on, I'm going the wrong way here. I want to go back. There it was. I think that was it.
That's a big red.
Was that? No. Okay. And that next one was here recently too. There we go. Right there.
Yeah,
that was a big trout.
Yeah, that was another. I wasn't expecting that either. I was bridge fishing and dropping live shrimp, with a Carolina rig, and I thought I'd hooked a little redfish or something, and
it
came up to the surface, and I was like, "Whoa!" Yeah, that was a nice surprise.
You've been doing great out there, man. I mean, obviously, like we talked about in the podcast, you're happy out there. Life's good in the water, and you're in your zone. So,
oh yeah,
congrats, man. You've been crushing it.
Oh, thanks. But that's the magic of YouTube. You get to edit out when you don't.
We don't talk about it. Nick and I don't talk about it some days.
I'm sure a lot of people understand it, but a lot of people that are new to fishing, especially watch the YouTube videos like you and Bama and Bearded Brad and all those guys, and they watch and they're like, man, these guys are crushing fish. But what they don't see is the days and the hours that you put in, and you come home sometimes empty-handed. I mean, it's just part of it's part of how it goes, and it's the hours behind it that you guys put in to put out that content, and we appreciate it. We got Vernon here who jumped on. He said, man, love watching your videos, Sean. I mean, it's just
thanks, Vernon.
Yeah, the stuff that goes on out there, hours and hours and hours, and as Larry Grossman says, miles and miles and miles to produce a video like that for us to learn and watch. And I'm sure I speak for everybody that we appreciate everything that you guys do.
I always say I'm pretty good at teaching what not to do.
Well, I'll say the one video that that sticks out for me that you did was when you caught the Goliath down south, and you went
from the beach.
Yeah, from the beach, and just the camera was still going, but the sheer exhaustion, like as soon as you released that thing, and then you came back and you just like fell out on the beach, man.
Yeah, that was just one of those times when everything comes together, and it was just that was exhaustion and elation.
Yeah,
I'm sure. You guys catch more fish than I do because you guys do more fishing, different styles than I do. Until soon, I'll eventually catch you both. But is there any better feeling than pulling up a fish? You're like, what the hell is that? This is cool. Like, is there anything better than a new species?
Oh yeah. And then we got to take a picture and then say, what's this?
What's this?
Oh, that's a soapfish.
I put it back. Come on, because I didn't know what it was.
Wow.
Yeah,
I got somebody else. I got a message after this and let them know that what they were catching was also soapfish as well. Because we all thought the same thing. They were in a different boat and stuff, and they were like, "Man," I was like, "Man, that's such a good sign to see, all these juvenile grouper." And I'm like, "God, now I feel like an idiot. It's a toxic soapfish. Don't mess with it."
So, Sean, what else are you seeing with the surf? I know we got some definitely stuff to talk about tonight, but what else?
Oh yeah. I surf fished. What's today? Friday, Wednesday evening. I went out afternoon, and I got down there. I don't know, five-ish, and like I cast out, and like within 45 seconds, I reel in like a 12-inch pompano, and I thought, oh man, this is gonna be on fire. And 14 ladyfish later, I finally got tired of picking June grass off my line, and
oh no,
and sargassum, and so like I left a little before dark. But yeah, the June grass was here, and I guess everybody knows the sargassum's here because you go down the beach, you see it.
Yeah, and sargassum's been hit or miss. Got Tony and Charity Duran. What is that? What are you asking? Is it what the soapfish is, or what the sargassum June grass is? Or
that's my buddy that came down.
Is it? Okay. Gotcha.
He's making fun of my videos because I always got him, and I always go, "What is that?
What is that?" Okay, gotcha.
He's jacking me.
Yeah, sargassum you can hit or miss, but when the June grass comes in, you got to go find something else to do. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I had to cancel a shark charter because I've been there. Run out of 400 or 500 yard drop, and then you got a 600-pound line to try and pull up.
Yeah.
So you guys are talking about this. I'm just going to be that guy.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yep.
That's it.
There it is. That was sent to us today. It's here.
Did you say line? True Braid says.
I mean, I am seriously depressed when I got that text.
It's like small things, G-string.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you're a surfer, this is the time, and I was going to say this, but since you're on, this is perfect. And if you're a surf angler, this is the time of year where we get real sad because you can't fish it. It's hard to play, run up and down the beaches. You can try to outrun it. It's going to be here. You might find a pocket, but this is the time to start. And this is really my honest opinion. This is the time to start doing something else, kayak fishing, stuff like that. So that brings me to a question for you with the kayak, because you're doing both. When the June grass shows up, are you still playing off on the reefs, or are you going strictly inshore?
Oh no, I'll go out to the reefs. It doesn't seem to have any effect out there really. It's always, I don't know how far out it goes, but when we've had it in, I've gone offshore before and haven't had any trouble fishing on the reef. So
it kind of hugs closer in. Okay.
I would think so. I'm sure some of the boat captains would know better on that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean they're still running. I mean, it's the height of snapper season and stuff like that. So they're still running out there. They're still doing all that stuff. We as surf fishermen get the shaft on it because it sits right there in that 100-yard zone. Even if you go on the pier, you can go out far enough past it where it doesn't even affect you, at least here in Navarre.
And then you'll get a calm day and it'll settle down, and then you go to fish next day and the wind whip it right back up.
Yeah. And that's what happened because I usually go this time of year, I'll go scout a lot of spots the night before trips and to make sure that it's going to be grass free. And then we show up the next morning and I'm like, sorry, I don't know what to tell you. We're going to have to cancel for today, or we're going to have to go find something else to do. We can always go catch sharks in the bay if you want to.
That's what I wondered with, that was the reason I asked you, because, with the surf one, you're always looking. Yeah. I always wondered if it's stuck close within the first bar, between the first and second, because I know if you get in the kayak, you're running past the second or walking on the second bar. I often wondered if it's stuck closer or not, but that answered my question. So thank you.
Awesome. Good stuff.
It wasn't me.
That was me. Sorry.
That was you? Okay. Like somebody got a message. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Sean.
Probably Tony ripping me again.
Yeah, Tony. No, he said he had a blast with you out here. What did he say here? Had a blast with Sean. It's way more work than what it looks like in the videos. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, Tony, you're in bad light. Move over.
Chris Florence, our offshore captain, says never had an issue with June grass offshore, just a sargassum weed. And then Blaine Roberts, our other contributor, switched it up today, took it to the bay. Yeah. sometimes you got to, you got to do what you got to do to put folks on fish.
Well, thank you for always sticking around, dude. I know it sucks being the surf guy at the end. You're like, when's my turn? But
that's all right. I just figured you put me at the end because that's when the fewest people are watching.
Actually,
no. Actually, that's not true.
We're doing quite well. We start losing people right about when the last captain goes off. That's when we normally start losing people. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. Awesome, brother. Well, we appreciate you sticking around. Great report this week, and we'll get you back on here soon.
Thanks, man. You guys have a good one.
You too, man.
See you.
Yeah.
Always good. We have such a great, I'm a little biased since we run the show, but we always have such a great group of captains. You know what I mean? Like everybody, the rotation, the mix, we get folks on here that want to provide input and provide knowledge for folks out there watching, and everyone sticks around and pays attention. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, we skipped over to get to the captains. So do we want to do weather and then the scroll?
Yeah. We'll jump in there real quick. I'll add weather real fast. Chrome weather. Boom. There we go. I don't care about a Citibank card. So tonight, chance of rain coming in tonight. This weekend's going to be, it's all almost all week.
This week's going to be horrible.
Storm coming through here. Southeast winds at 15, at 12, but the chance of rain, you got a 50-50 shot. You know what I mean? It could be north of us, could be, could hit us, could not. That's just the way it goes. Flip a coin, figure it out.
Yep. I always find that if it's under 50%, that's when it normally hits us. If it's over 50, then it never hits us.
I know. But temperatures are looking great. 84 during the day, 64, 72. You get in the 70s at night. This Monday, that looks awesome. That may be a good fishing day.
Yeah.
58% chance, but water temperature is going to be great. Tuesday, 83, 72, 84, 70. Yeah, weather around here is looking great. And winds, they're fishable. They're not going to be that strong the whole time. Usually first thing in the morning, if I get out there, it's going to be a good day.
So speaking of those.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm going to stop
throw mine on.
Stream here, and you're going to bring up windy?
Yeah, we're not going to talk wind. We already seen that one. We've got the report, but this is the one that really matters with the storm swell. This is something when we worry about wind, we've talked about that before. Now with the surf being what it is, but if you also look over here, you start talking about the bay. We're still talking in here. That's still 2-footers. So it's something to still pay attention to if you're going to play on the inside. So here we are on Friday, running into Saturday morning, still looking pretty decent. But keep in mind with the winds does increase those chances for all the chops going onto the offshore, and we went from 3 to 4 feet. So with the swell coming in, the period is great. 6 seconds separation. That's wonderful. I'm happy with that. I don't think there could be any real bad stuff that you could go with. So you're looking at about 3 to 4 feet over throughout the weekend. And as we move over here Monday, moving into the 3-footers. As you can see, it is coming directly from the south, so it is a nice shot. So if you are going out in the kayaks or anything like that, you should probably be able to play. I would recommend being very careful at 4-footers out there. That's not exactly the best time. So, again, I'm not a big fan of that, especially on the inshore side. If you're going to try, I don't want to share it, you stupid head. Even 2-footers out there can get a little funky. So if you're going to plan on going out, just be careful. Have a good plan. Make sure you have a buddy out there in the system. Somebody knows where you're going to be, where you're going to go, and all that stuff. Always important. Oh, Bill. Bill brought up a great point. I hate the wind, Channel 3. Yeah. Tournament tomorrow with Bill. Bill's got a big tournament going out there. Good luck to you, sir. I'm sorry.
Panhandle Inshore Fishing Club.
And Bill has another one that will be coming up soon. Do we want to announce that now, or do we want to put that in the comments?
Yeah, we can announce it now. That way people can compare. It's going to be a June night tournament.
June 11th. Yep, June 11th. His club will be hosting a night tournament only from 3 p.m. till midnight. Kayaks, boats, wading are all allowed. It'll be Lisa Jackson Park in Fort Walton Beach. Boundaries will be Navarre Bridge to 331 Bridge. Cash payouts, $40 per angler. So June 11th, that's going to be a night shot. And now it's got me wondering what the moon phase.
Look at you go into that.
Not that I ever do this sort of.
Right.
It'll be a waxing gibbous. So not bad.
Yeah.
88.62 illumination with a tilt. Man, I don't care about the tilt. But it's not a full. So it's waxing, not waning, growing.
Yeah. Awesome. Look at you.
Right. Yeah. All my podcasts are starting to pay off that I'm paying attention to whatever.
I know. Right.
Stop only thinking it's just fishing. No, you have to boss me. You're a better fisherman. But I'll probably go fishing.
Awesome. Well, let's jump into our scroll right fast. And and we do have winners to announce. I've been writing them down. I know who they are.
Yeah, I got them. I have a feeling you're close to the mine, but you go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and share screen. I'm not going to announce the winners just yet, but share screen. Here we go. So this I thought was interesting for shark fishermen out there. If you're on, how long do you let a shark run with the bait? Here's the situation: you have a 14-inch whiting or hardhead on a 20-aught circle hook. All the other stuff doesn't really matter, but you come back to start. The shark picks it up and takes off running with it. Do you immediately bump up your drag and start cranking? Do you let the shark run? Do you start off with your drag at strike anyway, just in case it hits and runs? Like, what do you guys do who are shark fishermen when this happens? You've kayaked your bait out, you come back, sit there, everything's good, and then all of a sudden, boom, shark picks it up and takes off running. I personally let it run. Brian's been out with me on shark trips. I let it run for a bit, at least a good 15 to 30 seconds before I actually hammer down the drag. But curious to what you guys do. And this is a land-based shark fishing group. A majority, I will say, of the Facebook groups are out there for knowledge sharing and learning. So these are all great just to scroll through and get an idea of what's happening. But I'm more along the lines of about 15, 30 seconds. And then I'm bumping the drag down and we're going to start reeling them in.
Makes sense.
Let's see. Go back here.
Well, so you talk about that. It instantly makes me think of that night. And it's like, all right, I'm going to drop the hammer.
Yeah. So something we don't talk much about, but it was in one of the groups, catfishing. I got to find a good catfishing spot because to me, catching any sort of big fish is awesome. I don't care if it's freshwater, saltwater. You hook into a monster, and this guy brings this. This is a nice, good eating catfish right here. I mean, look at that thing.
Holy crap!
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, look at that. That is just awesome. This guy here, Michael Borden, says, best eating catfish there is, freshwater grouper. Heck yeah.
That is.
I mean, we're using like the same stuff we use to catch sharks out there. They're using to catch big catfish.
Makes sense.
Huh. That's awesome.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, let's stop that. There we go. GI jigs, like I was saying. Here we go. This is Jack and I were out the other day over the bar rods, GI jigs, caught a monster ladyfish. We saw a school busting out there. Jack threw it out. That's an 1.5 ounce rig and brought it in no problem. Actually, I was down the beach talking with Salt Squatch was out and another buddy, Jay, and I was down the beach and I look over and Jack's hooked up, brings the fish in, and awesome catch. We ended up using it for shark bait. So worked out good. Say Wind Charters, our buddy Captain Chris Florence over there in Panama City. Rough bite, and it always gets me when it says rough seas and seasickness, and got absolutely destroyed by dolphins, but they stuck it out and got a nice limit of triggerfish. There's some nice ones right there.
Air breathing buttholes.
Yeah, them dolphin will get you. We got here. Okay, so we got Larry Grossman here talking about his largemouth bass right there on the bill rig. Cool. Look at that. The bill rig is what caught it. So, and that's, I know exactly where he's fishing.
I know that house.
Yeah. We were there. And largemouth bass right there. Who knew?
Oh, I never would have guessed the largemouth would have been over there.
No. Our buddy Perdido Blaine over there. That's not what I wanted to go to. Anyway, tearing up the Why did it do that? Tearing up the Pompano today. And then this one I wanted to put, be on the lookout, channel marker 22 down by a barge, extreme hazard, just half mile east of the no wake zone in Big Lagoon. So if you're a boater and you're out there, barge hit the channel marker sign. Hopefully it's fixed by now, but you saw that boat speeding by. If you're not paying attention, I mean, that's a big old,
that's a hole,
probably 12-inch diameter pole with the marker sign on it. You're not going to see it. So be extremely careful if you're in and around the Big Lagoon area over there in Pensacola. Pay attention out there. Hopefully they got it back up and fixed, but if not, just be careful. Know that it's down. And you know when you're coming close, if you're following your chart, they're marked. They tell you what the numbers are. So just be careful when you're in and around that area of Big Lagoon.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's all I got, man.
All righty. There was a couple things that popped on here. Robert, what's a good app to read tides, fishing times, and weather? I personally where is it? So I don't give you the wrong name. I personally use Nautatide is the app I like, which is, what is the main one off of that?
I use Fishing Points. I don't know if you can
Fishing
see.
Point. Yep, that's the other
Fishing
one.
Points is the one I use. It's got a like a little treble hook thing.
Yeah.
For its sign. What was it coming up? Maybe?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah. Fishing Points, what I use, it'll tell you the weather. You can log species. You can log fishing spots, waves, tides, weather, lunar table, all that good stuff.
Yep, you can use. I mean, I've got a whole thing for fishing here, but Pro Angler, like Vernon said, is a great one. Tides Near Me is okay, but that's just tides and Nautatide. So that
that's another good one too.
Nautatide's a decent one. Like those, that you can't really go wrong really with any of them.
What's the other one? Tides for Fishing? Is that the other one? I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, Tides for Fishing is the other one. Yeah, that one's a good one.
That's a good one.
Okay, let me get my screen going here. Sorry, I'm a little behind. Alrighty. We got this little fun bit here today from the Mercs. Former NBA Heat player Wayne out with his family caught a nice red. They posted that one up. Not a bad catch. It's always good, to get out with the family, man.
I feel I saw that photo somewhere. Anyway.
You already shared this.
Derail it. Sorry. Are you watching? I know you're watching. The gentleman who sent that.
Watching you?
No, the gentleman who sent it. I know he's watching.
Oh. I'm like, no, you can see what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Bring this one up. Jesse, I know him, good dude. Works up in Pensacola, but if you're ever one of those kind of people like me that doesn't do a great job of taking care of my fish bites like I probably should, this is a great one. Blaine, you comment, thank Blaine for it. But yeah, these little boxes, they do great if you ever wanted to do it that way. If you're going out in the yak or something and you want to keep it dry, not a bad way to do that.
Yeah, that's what we use. Chop up that. I got one for fish bites, one for gum. We went out today to try to find some, and the only ones we could find were divided. We couldn't find just the open box. So be on the lookout for those if you can find it.
So I love this group, Salty Anglers. Lots of good stuff is shared in there, and I could go on and on about it. But this one right here, I really wanted to post up. Look, we're coming into a holiday weekend, which means what? We get a lot of the tourists. It's also the summer. If you're a beach angler, you're a boater, any of that stuff, you see trash, I know most of us pick it up, don't contribute to it. Just keep the stuff clean. We got a lot of stuff coming. We got the turtles coming in and all that. Yes, I am a tree hugger when it comes to it. I like our fisheries, so I just want to kind of mention, keep it clean.
A lot of turtle nests coming up right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I saw that new one today. That was a good one. Cheyenne, I always got to give her a plug because she always, builds me awesome food. But her first spade, crushed it. Great looking meal right there. And again, we love it if you guys all want to share your cookings or your catching cooks. Hey, we're all for it.
Absolutely.
We all want to figure out a better way to have fish. There's only so many times you can have fish tacos before it's like, all right, something new. Step out of your comfort zone. Do some new ones there. I got some new plans for some fish that I'm going to go with. But, hey, you can only work with what you can work with. So step out of your box. Have a little fun with it. Cheyenne's a great reference to go back. She's got a lot of recipes on there.
Yeah, she does.
Alabama Surf Go. I think Mike had some stuff on not too long ago. But there's a lot. So have at it. That's my scroll.
Absolutely. Cheyenne had would she have the pompano whatever over the noodles and everything. Oh my gosh. It's
Is 8 fish legal size 14 inches now?
That's a good question, Bill.
Allow me to go to my handy dandy app known as
Your fishing
Fish
app.
Rules.
Well, while you look that up, I'm going to announce our winners.
Please do so.
Our times that Brian and I came up with were, I'm going to scroll back through here because I sent it to him. 18 minutes and 35 seconds and 48 minutes, 19 seconds. Our 2 winners are Mr. Roberto Ramos Morera. You'll be getting a shirt. Congratulations, buddy. And Mr. Larry Grossman, you'll be getting the other shirt. So these are Emerald Coast Bait and Tackle long sleeve shirts. You guys hit us up after the show. We'll get in contact with you to get a, that's right, the Pompano Piccata. That's exactly what it was, Cheyenne. I didn't want to mess up the piccata part. I was like, it's something like sounded good. But you guys hit us up, Roberto and Larry, and we'll get you guys your shirts out to you. And I'm going to have to apologize for the other 2 winners, Surf Hippie Fishing and Mr. Bradley Rogers. Your stuff is going out tomorrow. It is all packaged up and it's headed out tomorrow. So you guys will get your stuff on its way. Priority mail, you should get it in about 3 days. Actually, Bradley, you should get yours sooner since you're here and just over the line in Alabama. You'll probably get yours in a day or 2.
So, Bill, to answer your question, according to Fish Rules, it is not showing any limits yet or size limit. The only one that's showing is 100 pounds.
Well, then it's not regulated then. So you can keep any size.
Well, I don't think it's any kind of thing there. But it says it's open and
just like whiting. Can only have 100 pounds a day.
If I could have 100 pounds of whiting,
that would be awesome.
I would not be sad.
That would be great. So where's send my info? Roberto, I will send you a private message here shortly.
Yeah, we'll take care of that.
I'll contact you, buddy. And then Larry, I'll find you on the beach somewhere with a fly rod and hand you your shirt because I'm ready to go. If we're gonna have south winds all week, south winds should be pretty good for some wade fishing in certain areas. So
wade away.
Be able to go throw a fly rod or 2 around.
Thank you all for sticking around with us. I know it's been an hour and a half, and we do these a little long, but on the same one. It's great to have you all here and see the interaction. We love talking with you. I hope you all enjoy the time as well. Obviously, you stuck around with us. And as always, don't forget to like, share. This is always information for everybody, however the fishing is going. And we just want to keep this going, and you're the ones that make it happen. So thank you very much.
Absolutely, folks. Fly rod, go to Big Sabine. Yeah, that's Mr. Lipscomb there.
What's Big Sabine?
There's a lot of redfish on the south side of the sound right now. You can walk over there and get pretty close. My next catch and cook will be a stingray next week. We need to get you to do a remora.
Oh, totally. I want to eat one. I wish you would have got that through. I would have eaten it.
It looks like a cobia. It's got to taste like a cobia. I've seen a couple catch and cooks, but anyway, I think a big one would be good. But we're starting to digress. Like you said, an hour and a half. Appreciate everybody sticking around with us, hanging out with us tonight. As always, you guys get out there, do some fishing. Tag us at Panhandle Fishing Report. We'll get your stuff on here too. Until next week, we'll see you guys later.